Hi, I'm Minerva and welcome back to our channel. I'm a licensed immigration consultant and here is where you can be updated on all immigration topics. So make sure you like and subscribe so that you will be informed of any immigration updates. So today we'll be touching base on the new announcement made a couple of days ago by Minister Marc Miller on temporary residence and the cap on temporary resident applications. So stay tuned till the end and to hear more about these details. All right. So a few days ago, the Minister Marc Miller made an announcement that there will be a cap to reduce temporary residents by 5% over the next 3 years. So currently, we have approximately 40 to 41 million, and our temporary resident percentage is at about 6.2%. So if we work the math, we realize there's actually
2.6 million temporary residents
in Canada currently. Now, looking on the scale, the permanent residents target for this year is 485,000. So you can see the imbalance
2.6 million
compared to 485,000, right? And in that 485,000, there's approximately maybe 281,000 in the economic immigration, right? So we can definitely see that there is a good proportion of temporary residents that's in Canada versus the permanent resident targets that they have, right? Um, so when he says he's bringing down or he plans to bring down that percentage to approximately 5% over the next 3 years, you're looking maybe to say having 2 million temporary residents in Canada. Again, that's still a big number compared to what we have as the targets for permanent residents. But I guess that will still help to alleviate or come to the targets that they're planning to seek. Right now, some of these changes started to come in effect as of January of this year, where we saw that there were caps on international students, right? Approximately 300,000 is the amount of approved. Actually, the precise number is
292,000
of approved applications that they will accept for this year. It's approximately, let me see, just making sure I have my figures correctly. It's approximately, they'll be accepting approximately 606 applications, 6,000 applications. But out of that 606,000 applications, they will be approving
292,000.
So that refusal rate will be at approximately 40%, right? But again, this is in line with perhaps what was there before, prior to these new changes. The number of applications that went in versus the number of refusals, it's thereabouts roughly about the same percentages, right? It's just that they're working with a smaller amount of numbers this time. Then what does that mean? So if you are an international student or you're looking to come to Canada to study, these will affect like diploma programs, degree programs, certain degree programs. However, because if you're studying certain professionals such as sciences, those will be exempted. Um, however, like doctors, lawyers, things like those, they will be exempted. But for most parts, your diploma program, degree programs, a graduate certificate, and diploma programs, those are what will be in the cap. If you're looking to study masters and PhD, this is not a part of the cap, right? But if you are looking to study any of those undergrad and graduate certificate and diploma programs, then you have to be right on point right now. So your statement of purpose needs to be on par more than ever, meaning that, why Canada, why the program that you study, how it will, pertain to your career path, how it will be benefit you. Things like those needs to be on par. The provincial attestation letters is now a requirement. This will be given from the provinces. I think BC, Alberta, and I think Manitoba has started those attestation letters. Um, I have just heard through the grapevine, not quite sure, but Ontario should be having theirs in the first week of April. But the rest of provinces, they all need to come up with this PAL or provincial attestation letters system, by the end of March. Quebec, as we know, had this in place already before all other provinces, right? Um, so these are, things that will affect international students. But if you decide to come to Canada to study, there is still the possibility that once you stand out on your application, you will be a part of those approved applications. Now, another major change and that will go with the cap on temporary residence is the labor market impact assessment. Now, during COVID, there was an extension, not really an extension, but when you applied for an LMIA, instead of the usual 6 months that you would be given, you were given 18 months, right? And that 18 months was then reduced to 12 months. Now, the 12 months is now being put to the original time of 6 months, right? Um, so what that means is that, if you get a labor market impact assessment and it's something that's going to, you're using it towards your permanent residence, then within that 6 months, you need to apply for your work permit or you need to apply for your permanent residence, right? And for low wage, employers that are applying for low wage LMIAs, there are certain industries that won't be affected, such as agriculture, healthcare, and I believe construction. But for the majority, this is going to also impact you with a 6%, 6 months LMIA, sorry. And there will be a reduction of 30% of the labor market being able to hire foreign workers. This is now being reduced to 20%. Again, agriculture is not affected, healthcare is not affected, and construction, I believe, is not affected either. Right? So these are some of the changes, that is going to be made coming May 1st for the labor market impact assessment. And again, another quest on the pathway to put a cap on temporary residence. And perhaps visitor visas applications will be more stricter too. Sometime last year you were able to apply without even establishing that you would go back home. So I guess, those those requirements of your proof of funds, your ties to your home country, um, proof that you will return at the end of your stay, those will be more adamant in reviewing and processing your visitor visa application, right? So these are some of the changes. Again, I think one of the changes that he mentioned was domestic draws. So now we know that they have what you call occupation-based draws that's helping in your express entry. Now he's looking at, he didn't specifically say what those domestic draws are, but I'm assuming that the Canadian experience class draws will come, come back into effect, and we'll be seeing more of those draws because those people are already inside Canada. They have the education inside Canada. They have the work experience inside Canada. So I guess they will be concentrating on the people who are here. Again, we can see that there are a lot of temporary residents that are in Canada. And if there are pathways that can be set out for them to be converted to permanent residents, then that would be a good strategy to look at. So I hope this information is more insightful as to what those announcements were being made and what they mean. But that's what I have to tell you about what the temporary resident, the changes that's coming towards temporary resident applications and the cap on temporary resident applications. Remember, for more updates like this and any other immigration updates, hit the notification bell so that you will be notified when new content is being released. And for this and any other immigration services or advice, please reach out to us at McBeanImmigration@gmail.com or call or WhatsApp us at 416 991 8131.